The two hardest parts of opening any single one trade is identifying an entry and trusting your decision after you've opened that entry. You literally have no guarantees of anything going to your favor ever. So it's important for you to keep a relaxed approach to trading. But of course, you want to win as much as possible, right? We want to make as many asymmetrical bets that are in our favor, where when we flip the coin, it's heads I win, tails I don't lose so much all the time. That's really how we want trading to be. But the reality is that it's not always going to be in our favor unless you learn how to use RSI and price action to find asymmetrical entries like I found here on S, which was previously known as Fantom. I opened a position, really small position. It's a starter here on Bybit. And I entered because of several factors. And I'm going to share all of those decisions with you in this video, as well as what all this other stuff means. But before I get there, my name is Aaron Dishner, and I am from The Better Traders, and you are watching the Coin Bureau Trading channel. If you haven't already subscribed, you're going to want to hit that button because you're going to be dazzled with information throughout this video that you'll just forget that you did not hit the subscribe button, because I think that's what happens to a lot of you. Let's start over here first with TradingView and look at the same exact chart. Now, S used to be Fantom. Or wait, no. Yes, yeah, that's how you say it. So S used to be Fantom. Got it. Great. So what's the big deal? Well, Fantom is a relatively useful token. They had a rebranding. So because they had a rebranding, they had a new chart launch, and it has since found its support level and it started to bottom out. Now, why did I choose to enter S here? What was so interesting or appealing about entering S here and not back over here or here or here or here or here? I mean, obviously, this is on a downtrend. It's easy to say that in hindsight. And right now, this actually could be a bad entry, which is why I'm using a DCA strategy. I'll get to that later. The main reason, though, that I entered a trade right here is thanks to daily RSI. Now, you've heard me talk about different indicators before, whether it's the TBO, whether it's TBT divergence, we're talking about support and resistance levels, things like that. I have talked about RSI before, but I want to give you a little bit more info on how I use RSI to find good entries, again, for these asymmetrical setups. Now, the first thing you have to know is that my RSI will not look like yours. That's because I like using RSI with a length of 7. I also take out all the other garbage. I don't use a moving average. I don't do any of this other bullish, bearish level, stuff like that. And I use the levels of 70 and 25. So feel free to copy my settings. The reason why I use these settings is because a faster length of 7 is actually a lot better for crypto. The traditional or default level of 14 or level, not level, sorry, it's like the look back range. What do they call it specifically? The length. They usually have it as 14 by default, but the problem is that it's going to be kind of slow for crypto, and it's just not going to take advantage of all the good stuff we need. So I'm going to get rid of that. No, I don't need that. I want it at 7. The 7 is the good number to use. Now, the whole idea of RSI stands for the Relative Strength Index. It's a very, very simple free indicator to use. You can press the slash button, which is also the question mark button on your computer, or you can go over here to your indicators. You click this, you just type in RSI, it'll come right up, all right? The reason why I like using RSI so much, and not MACD, not Bollinger Bands, not all the other, like there are thousands of indicators, honestly, but the reason why I like RSI is because it's really simple. I've spent a lot of time using RSI, multiple years of using RSI, checking hundreds of thousands of charts, honestly, at this point, using RSI and price. So for the main thing I want to say right now is that this method works really well for me, but that's because I've tried this, I've tested it, I put my own money on the table to trade with this strategy, but you're not in that same position. So feel free to use paper trading if you want to. And again, this platform, AllTrade, does offer paper trading, which is really great, especially if you're not really confident in what you're doing just yet with crypto. But the reason why I like RSI, simply put, it tells us when the price is either overbought or oversold. What that simply means is that when we double click the indicator range, this area, it will make this full screen. It's this button right here, by the way. So when we have levels above or values above 70, the red line right here, then it's overbought, meaning that there's too much buying going on. It's very overheated. You might hear terms like that. And then on the flip side, where this green line is, all this, well, everything below 25, this is all oversold. Now, please forgive me because sometimes I get these two mixed up. I know what I say, but I don't say the right thing. I get them flipped around, and it's okay. It happens to lots of people. But the main thing I need you to know is that this indicator is extremely helpful in identifying tops, bottoms, and weakness in charts. Again, this is called the relative strength index, and this does a really good job of showing us the strength of a chart. For instance, just comparing the price action of S with RSI, what you'll be quick to notice right away is that we saw RSI on S start moving up right about here on the 29th of January on this green candle. So it started moving up about 35%. It did give away a lot of those profits, but from that entry, it was actually pretty good. You're rarely going to catch the Pico Primo bottom for any trade. You'll be extremely lucky if you do, and you'll rarely sell the top. So if you're someone that often misses the bottoms and the tops, pay attention because you're going to like this indicator a lot. The idea is simple. When you see RSI transitioning from being oversold and then moving up to overbought, this is letting you know before the price actually starts to show signs of exhaustion or weakness, you might want to consider entering or taking some profits. A lot of people get confused on RSI, and that's because they think, well, if the price is super duper low, or sorry, RSI is super duper low, I'm just going to buy. Well, that's not really the case. We don't really want to buy when RSI is as low as possible. Sometimes we do. Sometimes, like when Bitcoin has daily RSI below 10, that is a huge buy signal. But for the most part, we don't really want to buy off of a specific level of RSI. What we want to focus on, and rather, I'll say it this way, what I focus on is when daily RSI, specifically the daily time frame, crosses above 25, that's typically a good entry level and a good entry point. Sometimes your entry points are going to be too early, and that's okay. Sometimes you might even see RSI do something like this, where we see the price, I said it again. We see RSI do something like this. It's going down and it goes super oversold and it comes back up and it has a cross above 25 only to go again. Now, what typically happens in these moments with RSI, finally going into oversold territory, going deep, going above, and then it goes back down again. Typically, this second time down is not going to meet or exceed the previous one, especially if it was a really deep cut down in RSI. And what we typically see is something like this, where we see RSI kind of move up. We have a cross above 25. It goes back down again. And then it starts to move up a little bit higher, maybe like this, and it goes down again. Maybe it even dips again, but usually it doesn't do it like 3 times like that. It just depends on how oversold the chart is. Then we start to see it make some more moves until finally we see it go all the way up here into overbought territories. The main thing you need to know about this is that the first time that RSI flips to being oversold, it's not a buy signal. What I identify as a buy signal is actually 2 things. The first thing I like to look for, and I'll circle this, but I need to change this. There we go. And we'll change it to a nice yellow color. So pretty. I feel like Bob Ross. Pretty yellow circle. Forget it. I don't even know what this would be for Bob Ross. It's all right. I'm not even going to try. The guy's a legend. So when we see RSI crossing above 25, this is usually a good entry signal. This is something I call an RSI reset. The chart was oversold. It's now flipped the switch, or it's flipped the direction to go back to being neutral. And neutral is from 25 to 70 in this zone. Now, when we start to see specifically a higher low, a higher low, a higher low, we want to pay attention to that strength, especially if the price is not moving up yet. That's where RSI shines. Now, I'm giving away a lot of information right now. Honestly, in this first 10 minutes of this video, I've given you probably a little bit too much info. So you better be leaving that like button or leave a comment about what you really liked about this, what you're taking away from it. But trust me, I've been using this for years. That alone is enough to get you started. Now, here's the exact same thing I said happening right here on the chart for S. Now, we see super duper oversold RSI. We see it cross above 25 here, and I'm going to go ahead and add this vertical line by pressing Alt-V, or on a Mac it'd be Option-V, so right up here. So it's not a bad entry at all. Now, we won't finally get RSI closing above 25 until this daily candle closes. So that means that the price of S is actually up here at about 48 cents. And obviously, like I said before, while it feels like a great entry, we did see drawdown of up to 35%, which could feel really bad short term. We even see it go down to 23%. Again, this is where some of us start to lose our conviction and sell too early. But if we're paying attention to RSI, RSI is actually showing us some good signs. Now, it did not go below 25 again, but pay attention. It did retrace, and then it bounced up. Seeing this move right here, this is my conviction play right there. And if we're using a DCA strategy, this would be a fantastic time to add more to a position. I love using DCA because it takes the edge off of getting a bad entry or an early entry. So going back over here, this is AllTrading. I love the AllTrading platform. I use it for all of my automated bot trading and for active trading. So this yellow arrow indicates my entry. Now, this was not the Pico bottom entry target or entry level for S. And again, I'm not looking to time the exact bottom and the exact top. I just want to make sure I'm getting a good entry. Now, you'll see that I have an order right here that's green. So this is actually a buy order. It's a lot lower, really down here, just in case of another panic event at 32 cents. That price is another 25% lower than the current price, or rather my entry level. Why do I do this? Well, the reason why I do this is because this entry amount is actually a lot less than this. The way that I do things, the way that I trade these positions is that right here, I'm going to be putting in 1/3 of my total possible amount. There we go. Let me hit this. Oh, I have to have it zoomed in so much. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So this is 1/3 of my total volume. So that means that this level right here, that's right. This is going to be 2/3, which is in essence, it's going to be the full amount of my trade. So if I'm putting in $100 here, I'm saving $200 to put down here for a total of $300. Or if it's 1,000 or 10,000, whatever the number is going to be. The reason why I love trading like this in crypto is because we already know crypto is insanely volatile. And because it's insanely volatile, it is insane to go all in on any one position. It doesn't matter if you think it's the bottom. People thought it was the bottom here. And while this was a great entry for a 22% bounce, I bet you people that bought here on this dip didn't sell on the bounce. And now they're down about 34%. I'm sorry if that's you, but you should understand that that's why I like DCA. Because even with a terrible entry with DCA, you can average down your entry, and that's exactly what happens. Let's say for the sake of an example, I do have a good entry here on S. And unfortunately, it's good for now. It's up 5% for now. And then all of a sudden, it dumps. It goes all the way against me. The market crashes unexpectedly again. The beauty of this is that while I'll be down 25% on 1/3 of my total position, when I'm buying another 2/3 or 2 times my entry amount down here, man, oh man, this is going to allow me to average down my entry. My entry is around here about 43 cents, but by DCAing, it's actually going to be dropped down to somewhere around 38 cents, which looking at the chart is actually an amazing level to be dollar cost averaged down to. Because when I'm scaling in way more at a lower price, it averages down my entry so that when the price bounces, I could actually sell right where I entered. That's what I do a lot of the time with DCA. Excuse me. So you'll also notice here on this trade that I have these red lines up here. TP does not stand for toilet paper. It stands for take profit 1 and take profit 2. And you'll see that this one is a darker red color and this one's lighter red. This lighter red color means that this is a limit order. It's placed on the order book. This red one is actually a faux market order, meaning that when the price reaches 0.5554, or about 55 cents, then it's going to enable a trailing take profit order. And that's what this is. This is a trailing stop. So once the price of S, if it does, it goes all the way up here to my second take profit order and continues to rip higher, this trailing stop loss is going to follow below the price the higher it goes. So the higher it goes, it's going to go like this until finally the price comes down, and then it's going to close the trade. So it's a great way for me to maximize profit and also take some risk out of my position. This is how I've been trading for years, and it works really well for me, but it's not for everybody. I get it. It's fine. But AllTrading, again, fantastic platform for doing stuff like this all the live long day. Let's go back over here. So the reason why I wanted to share that DCA idea with you is I'm using a fixed DCA order. Now, one thing I could do as well is we could take that same DCA approach with RSI. Check this out. What if we entered here at 48 with 1/3 of our total position size? So we'll say like $100 out of our possible 300. So it means we have 200 left. And we see this massive drop of 31%, freaks us out, sure. But we're waiting for another really good signal from RSI in the daily time frame. And let's say that it does cross below 25 and it flips up again. Well, then we could actually look at the chart and say, well, I'm going to actually go ahead and add my other remaining funds right about here. And the cool thing about that is that we're not using, oops, sorry, I used the wrong hotkey. That was vertical. I wanted to do this guy. Perfect. Okay, so this one is the second order that we place at the close. So instead of us being all in here, seeing the price go against us, we're actually going to add more 15% lower, which is, of course, going to average down our entry. And we're going to be putting in more size at a lower price, which is a great thing because the price goes up from there about 131%. So we can use a fixed DCA strategy based off of price, which is what I do a lot of the time, but you can also use the same idea with RSI if it dips down again. Now, I want to share one more thing with you as to why I entered right here. Because RSI was so oversold, because we saw a major dump last Sunday, March 9th of about 14%, because the price has almost come back down here to this support level, this seemed like a great entry to me. And I've been watching this chart for a while, taking notes and waiting for a good sign of a bottom. And this is what a good sign of a near bottom looks like. Could it be the bottom? Maybe. And if it is, I'm going to make sure to take profits on the first possible bounce. I am not going to be entering here and hoping for Valhalla and trying to get like a 5x, 10x on this. No, I'm looking to trade this on the bounces and on the dumps. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is going to be extremely important for using RSI, and this is the inverse strategy. But before I do that, if you don't have access yet to AllTrading, there is a fantastic link in the description of this video down below where you can save some obscure number. It's like, 12% off of AllTrading, but it is completely worth it. It's a fantastic trading platform. And I'm also trading S on Bybit. I love the Bybit exchange. I'm a real big fan of it, both for perpetuals, for futures trading, and for spot trading. And I have special links here in the description. I would love it if you could support this channel by clicking one of those links, signing up. And when you do, they have some special instructions on how you can snag even more rewards. But you have to use the referral code that's included down below. And there are lots of other deals included in the Coin Bureau website or on the Coin Bureau website. If you go here to click coinbureau.com/deals, over here, there's a ton of stuff, whether it's exchanges, hardware wallets, if it's tax services or any kinds of other things or merch, there's a ton of stuff that's there. And if you hadn't noticed, we actually have a little bit of a coupon for you, 10% off of our course, 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom, which does cover AllTrading. You get a Actually, you get a trial of All Trading with the course. You get a lot of other stuff with the course, but I'm not here to talk about that too much more. But I just want to let you know about that before I give you this last little bit of information. RSI works both ways. We can use RSI to find great entries, but we can also use it to find good exits. Let's take the inverse. We've seen S move up from about 48 cents all the way up here to the Pico top, 103%, to just shy of $1. On this big rally that happened during the month of February, we saw S increase a lot, but we also saw signs of exhaustion. Now note here, right there, on the 12th of February, RSI moved up to 69.51. You see that? This is important. It did not go overbought, but it's pretty much there. Now, it did not stop here. We said that we started our entry right over here at 49 cents. This is only an increase of 13%. Again, which is a percent that a lot of stock traders would drool over. 13% is nothing in crypto, as you very well know. But here's the thing. Just because we see RSI tease or flick this overbought level, see, I told you, right here, and also right here, let me add these guys, and of course right here, we're going to see it flip to being overbought and staying overbought, boom, 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 going over and over and over. And then we have this, basically an inverse reality right there. Not inverse reality. What is this? The Matrix, maybe? Which would you choose, red or blue? All right. When we see, I don't know, guys, I'm sorry, I'm rusty. I was sick. You can tell in my voice. I didn't think I'd be this rusty. If we sell on this first little flirt with disaster here of overbought RSI, we get 14%. But we miss out on the big rally of 106%. Okay, pay attention. We see RSI go up a little bit higher, and then it goes down. Okay, so we sell everything here at 26%. No. The idea of this is we scale out. You can use these overbought values on the daily time frame for S as hints. Take some profit. A lot of you have problems taking profit. I have no problem taking profit on the bounces. I have no problem taking profit on the way up. I talk about this all the time in the videos on this channel and also on my personal channel. Not a problem. But for a lot of you, it's a problem. So when you start to see RSI stay consistently overbought, especially when you see RSI starting to get up to some crazy levels, anything above 80 is a big deal. Think down here is 25. You can even put this up to 75, but I like to have it at 70 again because crypto is so volatile. But the point being that when you start getting overbought, grossly overbought, seeing levels of 89, 90, 95, those are huge cues to you. But just because RSI flips to being overbought does not mean that's the top. Sometimes you'll see the price continue to go up higher and higher and higher. These are great reminders that the chart is extremely overheated, overbought. Consider taking some profits off the table. One thing you could do as well is you could do the inverse. We were saying that we wait for a breakout or rather a close above 25. You could do the inverse. When you see overbought RSI flip below 70, this could be a cue to you to take some profits off the table, both here at 59 cents and all the way over here at about 81 cents. Again, we really want to try to catch the top psychologically, but it's just not going to happen. It's not a realistic thing. But wouldn't it be better to walk away from the trade instead of with 100%, but to walk away over here with what, 66%? I think a lot of us would settle for 66%. Now, if you struggle with the mentality of, oh man, I should have caught the absolute top on this move, I totally round tripped it, or I'm going to sell the very top this next rally, whenever it happens. Really? So the last couple of times that this has happened, and you didn't do it then, but this next time you're going to do it, really? You're going to sell the exact Pico top this time? No, chances are you're going to give into euphoria, you're going to give into greed, you're going to make all the wrong decisions. Again, why not try just taking a little bit of time to use some advice you're learning on a fantastic channel, free advice, okay? Just check the charts. Just check them. I want you to remember a couple of things. 1, RSI, free. You don't have to have anything else. 2, RSI with a length of 7. I use an oversold level of 25, overbought level of 70. spend some time on the daily chart, just flipping through charts to see how did Bitcoin react with daily RSI. Notice I don't have anything else in the chart. I'm trying to keep things super duper simple and just bare bones for this video because I want to get the point across that you don't need fancy indicators to do everything. I love indicators. It's great. I love to use a lot of them, but only a choice few select indicators. And RSI is always a go-to for me. Check charts, check Bitcoin, daily time frame. How did RSI work out for that? Start to notice patterns. Start to notice when the price goes up, RSI is going down. That's weird. That's kind of like what Aaron said. Or when the price is going down, we're starting to see RSI going up. Isn't that what he said in that video? Oh, I didn't like the video. I didn't subscribe. Slap yourself. Hit the, you know, all the stuff I say. But seriously, this video alone is going to help you walk away with profits. It might not, actually, let me rephrase that because I'm confident you will not sell the exact Pico top, but that's okay. You need to learn how to be satisfied with any amount of profit. Would you rather have 5% profit or a 5% loss? If you say 5% loss, you're in the wrong game. This is the Coin Bureau trading channel. This is all about trading to grow your portfolio, okay? Test it out, back test it, just study some charts. You will be amazed. I'm struggling to say amazed because it's going to depend on your interpretation. For me, I'm always amazed to see how well this works, and that's why I've entered that trade on S. Now, I know a lot of you have your own favorite indicators, and I will entertain looking at a couple of them, even if they're ones that I haven't used before. But there's a reason why I have a couple of like not standby, but like, I don't know. Indicators I always use for everything. They're just my go-to toolbox for everything. But I would love to know what kind of indicators you're using in the comments section down below. And also let me know if you have any specific charts that you'd love for me to check out in the next video on this channel. And before you go, yes, I'm crazy. I still think that this is a top year. I still think Bitcoin is going to be going up a lot higher. I have a video right here that's going to be talking about this year's bull market and how to get rich in it. I know you're like freaking out at me right now. Just trust me, take some time, watch the video because everything I'm saying in the video is still great advice on how you can walk away from this bull market with a Porsche instead of a Prius. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.